Okay, so today we're going deep on some lyrics, and I always love this kind of deep dive.
Yeah,
And this one you sent in, so thanks for this. This is "Bye Bye Bye" by Terence Hughes, and it's from a record label called No Head Music. Have you heard of them?
I have not.
Mm.
The name certainly grabs your attention.
It really does. And what really struck me about these lyrics is how he takes the just like the everyday mundane stuff,
Yeah.
clocks and sinks and all this, and then just kind of layers on this like really intense emotion underneath. It's almost like he's trying to escape from the ordinary.
It's that juxtaposition that really gets you thinking. You've got these everyday objects, but they're like a backdrop to something much deeper.
Exactly. And it starts right away in those opening lines. Talk tick, if it's left, it's flipped into the pedal bin. Another day gone, bye bye bye. Like we're right there in the routine, right? The clock, the bin, another day gone.
And that repetition of bye, bye, bye. I don't know about you, but I almost hear it as a sigh, like this sense of resignation.
Yeah, it's like acceptance, but not in a good way. More like just, blah, there goes another one.
Exactly. And then it just keeps going with that time theme. Tick tock, the face runs around the clock slightly out of cinch. How fast the time flies by, bye, 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 bye. It's that feeling of time being a little off right, and yet it's still rushing by.
So what does that suggest to you, that sort of distorted time?
Well, it makes me think that maybe the speaker's internal state, you know how when you're anxious or stressed, time can feel really warped?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, and then that repeated bye, bye, bye. This time it's like he's emphasizing how fast everything is slipping away.
Yeah.
Each bye, bye, bye is like another little farewell.
And all of this is happening against these very like ordinary everyday actions. It's almost like those actions are just markers of time passing.
Mhm.
And then it takes this really interesting turn. Plop, plink drops into the sink, chasing one another in tears like a tap you cry. It's such a simple image, but it's so powerful. What hits you about that?
It's the simile tears like a tap for me. It's not just a few tears.
Yeah.
It's this constant stream, like this well of sadness
Yeah.
that just keeps flowing.
Yeah, it's like it's uncontrollable.
Yeah, it's like it's just overflowing. And it makes you wonder, I mean, do you think that sense of overwhelming sadness, do you think it's connected to that earlier feeling of time slipping away?
I think you might be right. It's like this constant awareness of time passing, and it's feeding into this like underlying sadness.
It's almost like time is the source of the sorrow. Like he's grieving the moments as they disappear.
Wow. Yeah, that's deep.
And then we get to this really interesting image, the pedal bin. It pops up throughout the song.
Yeah, it does. And I'm curious what you make of it. So the first time we see it, it's a new bin bag, shining and smooth, waiting to be used, filled with things part consumed. So there's a sense of new beginnings, right, with the new bag. But immediately it's followed by this idea of things being discarded, things that are part consumed. What's that contrast about?
I think what's interesting here is how this everyday object, it becomes this container for more than just, physical waste.
Yeah.
That new bin bag could represent like hope or potential. But then it gets filled with the remnants of experiences or emotions that are no longer wanted or viable, things that are part consumed and then discarded.
Right. Like the leftovers of life.
Exactly.
And then the lyrics take on this much darker tone. So your foot pedals the lid, trying so hard to get rid of the ravings in your head, want to kill them till they're dead. It's not just about throwing out the trash anymore.
Right. It's way more intense. It's this almost violent act of trying to get rid of these thoughts, these ravings, like he's desperately trying to find some inner peace.
So what do you think those ravings are?
I mean, it's hard to say for sure, but maybe regrets. Like maybe there are these thoughts about things he wishes he'd done differently.
Interesting. And that ties into that next line. Snap, crackle, and pop. What a lot of might have been. Another year gone by. Bye-bye.
Those sounds, snap, crackle, pop. It's like the sound of something breaking or ending. And he's tying it to what a lot of might have been.
It's the sound of loss, isn't it? Of potential unrealized. And then that bye-bye-bye. At the end, it's like another year gone, another set of possibilities down the drain.
Yeah, and there's that sense of finality again. It's almost like a countdown.
It is a countdown. And then we get this really striking image. Oh, pedal bin, if you'd seen what I've seen, you'd understand what I mean. You'd stay shinin' and clean. He's talking to the bin now. Like it's a person.
He is. It's like he wants the bin to understand his pain, to see what he's seen, but without being tainted by it.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful image of isolation.
It is. It's like he's desperate for someone or something to understand him without being affected by his experience. Yeah, and then it just gets more intense. Oh, pedal bin, how I long to climb in. Because if you'd been where I'd been, you'd understand what I mean. He wants to be inside the bin, The thing that represents disposal, what does that tell you?
It's like he